This is the 2022 Ford Maverick. So you're probably watching this video because you've seen the hype around the Maverick. Maybe you're interested in buying one, or you're just curious about what is the deal with this hyped up little wannabe pickup truck. Well, first and foremost, it is a pickup truck. Second, the hype is real. So the best way, in my opinion, to really describe some of the pros and cons of this vehicle, like I'm doing right now, is just to get in and drive it and talk about it. That being said, let's talk about some of the features that come stock. Here's a brief picture that details exactly what came with my Ford Maverick. This is the XL, so remember that. As you can see, it came with the 2-liter EcoBoost engine. So what that translates to is a front-wheel drive vehicle that has not only the utility of, for the most part, most pickup trucks, but it also has excellent gas mileage, something I'm definitely not accustomed to whatsoever. Brief backstory there. I'm coming from a 2006 Ford Ranger 4x4 XLT. This vehicle was great, towed my little boat all over the place, didn't really have any issues with it, drove great, rode great, good vehicle. However, and if you guys know, with that 4-liter, it eats gas. It'll pass anything on the road except a gas station. This vehicle is the complete opposite of that. It is incredibly economical. A few things we're gonna talk about are the economics of this vehicle, how efficient it is, the utility, how practical it is, and I guess, in essence, some of the pros and cons overall. You know, what I think about it. This is my 2,000 mile review of the 2022 Ford Maverick XL. This road is incredibly narrow, so I'm just focusing on driving, so whatever it's filming, it's filming. That was a nice little speed bump. First thing to note when you are driving this vehicle, it is incredibly smooth, even a stock model like this. What I'll talk about a little bit later is something you may encounter off-road, and I use the word off-road kind of loosely here. Just, you know, dirt and gravel type roads that you'll experience and how this vehicle handles. But before we get there, let's talk about some of the features that you will get and some things you can expect. Here we are pulling into Robinson's Preserve. Just a nice pretty place we can talk about the vehicle real quick, and then we'll be getting back on the road. Some of these I do not want to do while driving, just for safety's sake. So I figure I'd take you guys somewhere scenic. So this is my new adventure vehicle. And let me tell you, I fully expect this thing to be able to do everything my old Ranger could and more. With that gas mileage, we're gonna be able to really go some places. So when you first get in this vehicle, you are gonna notice it is quite roomy. For a small vehicle, you have plenty of leg room, whether you're sitting at the front or the back. Of course, the seats are adjustable in pretty much every way imaginable. Granted, it's manually, because this is the XL. I don't have all the fancy electronics where you can move it forward and all that, but that's not something really I need. Second, you're gonna notice the big 8-inch screen that's sitting up front. You can control your phone with that. That comes with Android and Apple plug-in, so you can control your phone and put all your apps and stuff on that, which is a really cool feature, especially on a stock vehicle like this. Second, you have your electronic dials that control your AC and all that, and similar to that, you have your electronic gear switch. So this little wheel in the middle, that's your shifter, which was definitely weird at first, and I'm still getting used to it. But honestly, it's really easy and convenient. It's just a quick little bing bang. Under that, you have your parking brake, of course, and then you have your 4 little dials. As you can see, the bottom right one's the only one I have activated, and that is your automatic brake. So once you pull it to a stop, the vehicle is automatically going to hold that brake, so you don't have to, which is pretty nice and convenient. And a feature that goes along with that this vehicle does come equipped with stock, is the power saver mode, or their fuel saver mode, the efficiency. So you pull up to a stop, say your automatic brake kicks in, you're sitting there, and if you're not blowing the AC too hard or the heat too hard, the engine will turn off. And this is a common feature on new vehicles nowadays, but the fact that this vehicle comes with that is pretty cool, let me tell you. You're getting your money's worth, that's for sure. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that center screen right now, but you can adjust that and change all the options on it, like I'm doing right now. You can see your speed, the music you're playing, you control your phone. I just keep, you can go into the settings as well. I just keep it on this one that'll have your trip info, your overall info, your miles to empty, and then of course your miles per gallon. And yes, you can see that right. It is saying I'm averaging 29.1 miles per gallon, and that is split between highway and city driving, which is pretty fantastic. Another really cool feature, granted this doesn't come in my truck, but in the upgraded version, whether it's an XLT or the Lariat, this is actually a phone charger where you just lay your phone there and it'll charge your phone for you. Otherwise, you just plug it into your basic USB or Android and it'll charge your phone. You can also stick your phone here, it's nice and convenient. Of course, you have all the normal storage that you would expect in the Mavericks. You have big water bottle storage on the side. You got your speakers. Of course, I just showed you guys the back storage. You got your nice little console storage, extra storage. Again, this is an issue I've seen in repeated videos. No one knows what this is for. Me personally, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little tiki person right here that bobbles up and down just for shits and giggles. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the price point. The reason these vehicles are becoming so popular, not only have custom ordered or just what comes with its stock like this, is just incredible, great value. So these vehicles are listed around $20,000. Granted, because of the demand, you are more than likely going to pay above that. You're going to pay above sticker. Now, maybe you know someone or can get a dealership discount, whatever. Maybe you won't, but more than likely you're going to pay above. I could sell my vehicle right now for more than I paid for it. That's just a fact. That's just the way the market is, which is it's crazy. It is crazy. If you're watching this video, odds are you've seen Ford's release where they had to completely stop orders on them because they can't fulfill them. That is how crazy the demand is. With everything that comes stock with it, it's a great economical car. And I'm going to show you guys the utility functions are fantastic. And yes, I filmed this video at 2 separate times and locations, so you might see some weird overlap, or at one point it was really cold. Right now I'm sweating bullets, but it is what it is. The information is solid though, and that's what counts. So something that is really common with driving any kind of vehicle off-road is encountering those ridges you have on dirt roads. And these are simply a result of kind of weathering and cars compacting that dirt over time, pushing it forward continuously and creating those ridges. And this tends to happen in drier, arid type climates. Something that really will test a new vehicle's capabilities is going over these ridges and seeing how smooth they are. And really the only way to avoid that that jolty kind of feeling you get going over these ridges is going really slow. It's like 5 miles per hour and under. I read a study about this, and that's the only way to not create those ridges. Otherwise, you're gonna end up having them. But here we are in the Maverick, going over these ridges. Actually right now, I'm going about 28 miles an hour. And as you guys can kind of see and feel, it's really, really mild. So the suspension on this, even on a base model, is quite good. So we've talked a little bit about the Ford Maverick's features and some of the things that do come with it, whether it's stock or upgraded. Now I want to dive into the meat and potatoes of this vehicle that I know you guys are dying to see. I'm going to go around the vehicle, around the exterior, and show you guys some of the utility and some of the practical elements of this. Let's do it. Here's another great test of the vehicle. Even a stock XL like this road is nothing but rocks and shells. And we're just slowly cruising over it, and we're not having any issues. Oh, that looks like a big animal up there on the side of the road. But yeah, like I said, we are out in Maca right now. We're about to have a fire, maybe do some target practice, shoot some firearms. Notice how I do not have any kind of bed liner or anything like that. That is because, again, I did get the base model. However, if you wanted to go that route and get that either aftermarket or put on after the fact if you bought it. So in 2017, Ford launched what's called Ford Pass. And what this does is grant the user, once you purchase the vehicle, X amount of points that you can use in any way you want at any Ford dealership. So in this instance, if I wanted to have this covered, whether it was the chemical bed liner or just a plastic liner, I can go to Ford, have that ordered, and use those points in exchange. It acts as a currency, so I can pay for that with those points. So you can do that with oil changes or anything you want done to the vehicle. You can use those points, and that's really cool. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that app real quick. So we're gonna go ahead and go into our Ford Pass app right here. And when you first go into it, you're not gonna have a vehicle showing. So your sales agent is gonna go ahead and walk you through this process where you're gonna take your VIN number and a couple other pieces of information, plug that into the app, and it's gonna sync your vehicle to the app, and it's gonna input all your vehicle's info into the app so you have everything at your disposal. Now, first, you kind of see what's going on here. We can unlock the vehicle, start it, and lock it back up simply with the app, which is a super cool feature, especially coming from a basic XL like this. Second, if you look down on the bottom left, you have your Ford Pass rewards, and these are the points they get, or these are the points you get for buying the vehicle. These points can be used in a multitude of ways, whether you want to pay for an oil change, add some accessories to your vehicle, or any kind of bill you have at any dealership you can buy Fords, which is a super cool feature. Next up, let's go ahead and check out our vehicle stats. So this is my current vehicle. Have my odometer, how many miles I have, miles to empty, and you can look at your various statuses and settings. So tire pressure, oil life, which is super cool. It'll tell you when you need to get an oil change. I really like that feature. And of course, it's gonna help you find a dealership where you can get that done. And of course, you can use the Ford Pass rewards. Services, you can look at all your history, all of that fun stuff. And if you go to the map, you can see where you are in relation to your vehicle, which again, is a really cool feature. And there are tons of other things you can do inside this app. Just go ahead and play with it and check it out, but it is a super cool bonus you get. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about some of the features that do come stock with this vehicle. First and foremost, as we approach the bed, you notice it does have an exterior lock that you can lock if needed. Second, we do have these adjustable tailgate handles that if you wanted, you could move this, put this up here, and what that's gonna allow you to do, if this is a bit more level in that angle, is it's going to line up perfectly with this wheel well, meaning if you want to put plywood in the back, that plywood is going to be perfectly level sitting in the back of the bed. Next up, we do have two 12-volt plugs right here. So if you have any kind of tools or anything you want plugged in, these will work perfectly. They do have lights indicate whether they're working or not, and if you have a flashing light, that means it's faulted and more than likely the fuse needs to be replaced. Next up, so we have these side storage compartments, and stock on this vehicle you don't actually have the little latch that would open up to access that storage, so that is something you would have to purchase, but nevertheless that space is there if you wanted to upgrade. What's also really cool is all over this vehicle there are tons of little QR codes. Ford has done a really good job of kind of allowing the user and purchaser to better understand the actual capabilities of this vehicle, and lots of creative ways you can use this smaller space. Now, of all the positive things I've said about this vehicle, and believe me, there are plenty more that I didn't cover. I mean, this vehicle is fantastic. I love it. But there are only 2 complaints. I only have 2 complaints about this vehicle. So it gets great gas mileage, we know that, but with the 4-cylinder, it just doesn't have that same noise you get out of V8. But that's a small price to pay with incredible fuel economy. And number 2, so because Ford released this vehicle so quick, they don't have an aftermarket wiring harness for the trailer hitch receiver. So if you're like me and you bought the XL without the towing package and you want to buy the receiver separately, get that installed or install it yourself, you're going to end up with a working receiver, your trailer hitch, you can tow, 1,500 pounds or less, but you're not going to have working taillights on that trailer unless you rig up your own thing. Because as of right now, they haven't came out with any electrical harness. So that's kind of the dilemma I'm in. That's why I'm not towing anything right now. Like my small boat would be perfect. This vehicle would handle that small boat perfectly. Here's a picture of it right here. It's a small little 11.5-foot John boat. It's great. And it's well under the weight limit. But yeah, those are my only really 2 complaints about this vehicle. That being said, it hits the utility function. It's got all the hooks and bells and whistles you want on the exterior. Number 2, it's incredibly economical, both fuel efficiently and on your wallet. I mean, I got this vehicle for a steal. For everything you get, this is probably one of the best new trucks you can get for the money. Number 3, it's a good looking vehicle. It really is. It's comfortable, it's spacious. It checks all my boxes. That being said, if you found this informative or enjoyed it and want to see more lifestyle related content, fishing, camping, all that fun stuff, go ahead and subscribe because we do it all here on this channel. That being said, I'm Mitch, and don't forget to live for today. See you next time.